Hello and welcome to What's Map for Cities Skylines, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. There are thousands of items on the workshop now, so finding the right one for your next city build is a huge task. So each day, Monday to Saturday, we'll review some using our 5-star rating and the coveted seal of approval. So join me, fellow Skylines explorers, as we venture out to today's new land. Who am I? I'm BonBonB, and you are very, very welcome.
Come here now, girl.
Okay, I'll be ready. It's BonBon here, and it's What Map, and it's your one-stop shop for everything workshop. How you doing? Right, it's Thursday, which means we're going back in time. But let's go back 24 hours and remind you about the fog or no fog debate over on my Patreon. It's free to vote. If I'd known, though, that there was a polling option, a vote option on YouTube, I would have used that. I'm sorry to send you across there. I will know better next time. Anyway, fog or no fog on today's map like this. Okay. It's Throwback Thursday anyway, and Throwback Thursday today when we go back to the early days, and we'll go back to 2015 for today's map, the very early days. It's Ethylene Island by Altimus. Like I say, this map has something nice about it. Looks a bit like the Millennium Falcon. Maybe? Maybe. Right, there's your start square, lots of build plane and access to water, and just a hint of intersection. That is your resources. I think they're very nicely done, if I'm honest with you. Can use those quite happily. Off to the workshop. What do we need for Ethylene Island? And the answer is, well, nothing. There you go. Released on the 13th of May 2015. That is super early. And still has over 600 subscribers, which is great news. A little bit of reading just for fun. No other reason. Right, well, we are expecting it to be a little bit shoddy because of the earliness of the map, but not horrendously. Got a little bit of glitching along the roads here. Now the bridge. This bridge, first view is not bad, but the roads do drift apart from each other a little bit in the process. Early days of trying to work out how to use the curve tool on the tools, of course, on the roads. Then a pretty steep upward climb, a bit steeper than I would have liked, but once again, I'm going to be a little bit forgiving. I'm not going to grumble too much about these sort of things today. A little bit of bump going from the elevated to the ground again. Once again, early days difficult. A little bit of glitchiness there between the two roads. I can't forgive that, I'm afraid. That would have been fairly easy to fix. The road's obviously put down once the map's been completed, and in a little bit of a hurry. I don't think there was too much concern or effort put into these. Just getting them in roughly the right location. Glitching all the way here. But there we are. Didn't expect me to come along 3 years later and rip it apart, did you? And quite right too. Quite right too. Absolutely no right to rip somebody's work apart. Which is why I'm always pretty easygoing and friendly about these things, because I'm just here to sort of like help you pick the right map. And these guys were, well, early pioneers. They didn't know this game was going to be as big as it is, did they? And that one day that somebody would come and review their map. So no, I'm not going to be mean about it. This is actually not a bad effort for early days. Certainly better than the vanilla maps. Definitely better than vanilla maps across the whole. By today's standards, this rail wouldn't be acceptable, I'm afraid. It's up and down all over the place. Very untidy, a little bit ugly here and there. But at the time, I would say this is actually better than average at the time. So there we are. You see, I can give credit where it's due. And certainly when I was first into this game, I couldn't have done this, not to this level anyway. So anyway, right, we hit this big old bridge. It's on the slope going from land to land, and then once we hit the land we have to climb back up again, which would have been easily avoidable, but there we are. Anyway, asset time. And off to Assetville for today's asset, which is a prop. It's by Peluso NN, and it's vanilla medians. If you're searching for it using the search term, it's vanilla with one L, a misspelling there. This is a prop that you put down the middle of your highways. There are a couple of widths and a couple of lengths. I'm sure this can be done better than I've done it, but for now, this is what we're looking at. This is the best I can do, I'm afraid, in the short amount of time I have. There are plain ones, and there is the muddy centered ones. I put down the flowers there just for aesthetics for us to have a look at. But yeah, there's a couple of variations of each style, and it can just tidy up the gaps between your highways. Pretty nice, if I'm honest with you. Quite like that. It's Vanilla Mediums by Peluso NN. And of course you'll need Anarchy to be able to get that to work. Now, Anarchy's on the workshop too. And off to Themington Island for this week's theme and LUT, which has been fairly well received, I think. Temperate Coast X by False Lucidity with Natural LUT. And we're now into nightfall. We've got to the second half of the week. Shall we do factoids? Shall we? Okay then. Just got a couple for today. The first put my tongue back in forwards again. The first recorded use of a double Christian name was as recently as 1608. Well, there we are, double Christian names. Right. Margarine is named after the Greek god for pearl. I have no idea why that would have been. Maybe she was fat. Maybe she was fat. Maybe she was, no, I was going to say easily spread, but that is completely inappropriate for a family show. So we'll stick to, she was just a bit fat. And back to Ethylene Island by Altimus. And the shipping routes, well, we got a couple coming in down this side of the island, so there's nothing down the other side of the island, but your natural harbour is here. Then you come across here, you go across country, over the bump like that, that's fine. If you're in hovercraft, probably alright. And it loops around the other side and back out to sea. Now the water, we've got two lakes with rivers running down to the central delta, and there's a water source in here, and then it pushes it obviously down the hill. Bump, 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 swish wash down here and around that way as well, until we get to where the rivers merge, and there's a water source there as well, pushing the water down that way. If we go up the route, there is a water source in this mini mid-river lake, and there's a water source right at the top as well. I'm not entirely sure why we've got all the extra water sources. I would have thought just the weight of the water would have carried it all the way down to the ocean. But what do I know? What do I know? I didn't make the map. Maybe it didn't work. Anyway, when we get it out of this delta, it kind of like slows right off to a nothing. So there is where your possibility of problems might occur. There's very little movement, and what more movement we've got here is being pushed in from the outside world. So I don't know whether or not there's going to be problems there, but you can let me know if you play the map. Anyway, I love the design. It has a Millennium Falcon look to it, I think. It's very Star Warsy. I love it. I love it. I love it. We come down and have a look. Let's have a look at this cross-country island here. That's where the shipping was cutting across the land. Obviously, these islands were put in last, I would suggest, just to add a little bit of interest to the central bay. But, oops, we forgot about the shipping routes. Oops, Altimus, oops. This river delta is very nicely done, if I'm honest with you, especially for early days. Didn't see many like this back then. I don't see that many like that right now. A little bit of Merrickstow about it, of course. We're liking the mountains around the outside to add a little bit of backdrop to our main build plane, which is in the middle of the map. Let's have a look at the rivers. Now, if I'm honest with you, the rivers just feel like they've been tooled. They don't really feel like they've been carved by the water themselves. And yes, we have got loads of drowned trees. I haven't seen drowned trees for a long while. It seems to be a phenomenon that is becoming rarer these days, probably as map makers are realizing that I'm spotting their mistakes and making sure that they haven't got any trees up to the necks in water these days. So I shall take credit for that. I'll take the credit. Yes, loads of trees here. Once again, I think the trees were put in first, and then the rivers are gouged out afterwards. And there we are. So, and more down here. They're very green under there, very mossy area of the water. Okay, what else we got over this side as well? Oh, well, we've got the mountain range here, and then over the other side of the mountain range, we've got a little buildable area. Okay, well outside of the 25 tiles, but I think a little bit of a treat to come out here. And for the first time in ages, an area that I would call BonBon Island. I would live here. It's far enough away from the general populace. We've got a buildable area on the bottom part, and this little area up here I can build my little fort so I can defend against tourists. I like that. I definitely first time in a long while a BonBon Island. And yeah, the mountains, they're, the closer you get, the uglier they get, I think. They're not the best, and the tree placement seems a little bit, well, just dump the trees down. Aesthetically, now, this isn't too bad. If this was 2015 and I was rating it, I think I'd give it 4. But by modern day standards, it's no more than a 3. But that said, 3 is still an okay score, so I'm accepting that. If a map gets a 3 in any category, it's an okay score. Don't think I think the map's rubbish. Detailing, though, yeah, it is a bit rubbish in places, isn't it? Just a little bit. It's not so bad. I'm going to mark it down to a 1 star, but it doesn't quite earn the 3rd star for being okay. There's definitely things that needs fixing. I will give this 2 stars for detail. And for gameplay potential, yes, there's problems with the water. Probably could do a second highway connection, possibly, but it's still very playable. I give that 3 stars for gameplay potential. Ethylene Island by Altimus, and that is today's Throwback Thursday map. And it's not bad. It's not bad, just needs a bit of fixing. A little bit of fixing, and it's very workable. Anyway, thanks for watching, commenting, liking and subscribing. Don't forget to join me tomorrow for another map in the What Map series. Don't forget to vote on the fog or no fog debate. The link will be down in the description as well. Like I say, sorry it's over on Patreon. I didn't realise there was a vote option using the cards in YouTube. And next time I do a poll, I will be using those. And you can just easily click and make your selection. But please vote on this poll. It's very important to me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.